Yes, we are able to hear.
Thank you.
Yeah, Robin, so good to go. We can start now.
Gary, just give me 2 minutes. I'm about to share the links on the
Sure.
AZ500.
No problem.
So look like they are not registered. So we need to just give a few minutes.
Sure. Take your time.
Yeah. We're waiting for few more people to join. So whatever link we have been provided, they found some difficulty. So just reshare the link. So we are expecting all these students will be joining in another 2 to 3 minutes. And once they join, we'll start the session also.
So guys, this is Azure 700 and 500. 700 is basically as a network implementation, and the 500, which is cloud security. And initially, we're going to start with the cloud security first one.
Exactly. So we'll be starting with the cloud security, then we'll be moving to the 700 batch. So I can see the people are joining. So let's start the module. So happy Saturday, everyone. Once again, welcome to Networking AZ500 technical discussion. My name is Robin, and along with me, we have a Gaurav also. It's been available on this call. So we both will be giving a demo session and giving an intro about this program and how it's been planned. And we'll be going through the course contents and we'll be having some discussion about the technical part. About networking, we used to into this industry for a quite long time, especially onto the learning and development platform. So we have maybe you have been already gone through this networking portals, and you may be seeing like the resources or the trainings which we are already providing this one. So this program we plan in such a way that in the industry Now everywhere or all the market has been moving on into the cloud side. So obviously the security also is one of the key or a critical vertical. Almost all the organizations are looking. So this program basically has been focusing more on the cloud security. Cloud security. So the first phase, as Gaurav said, we'll be focusing more on into the Azure side. So we'll be discussing about understanding about Azure or how security can be provided on in a different verticals. So that's the way the session has been planned here. Let me share my presentation. Give me a second. I'm just connecting my secondary device. So it's been connected, and in between it's got browser is got disconnected. So it's been reconnecting again. Right now we've been connecting to the secondary device yet, so I can able to share my screen. I hope you can able to see my presentation, right?
Yeah, it's visible now.
Yeah. So thank you, team. I hope all are able to see this the presentation which we just uploaded. So once again, welcome to AZ500 session. The course name is Microsoft Azure Security Technologies Training. So this session has been more focusing on the cloud security aspects. We'll be starting from a scratch, and this training program has been more into a practical oriented one. Now, about this training program or into the cloud security side. So, a few members from this batch, like Dhyan, Karthik, Agni, already we have been completed the AZ700 sessions. Now, the people today it's been joined. It's been directly coming on into the security side because you already may be working on the network side, and the AZ700 for you, it's been starting from after completing this program. So about this program, how we have been designed here, it's will be try to understand about how security process has been going to be implemented on in Azure security. You may be heard about or you may be already done AZ700 or AZ900 or 104 programs. You may be already aware that there are many resources or services are available on in a cloud portal or a cloud infrastructure, which has been starting from a physical layer and it's maybe in a network layer or a data link layer. So we have a different data center stack layers are available, even though if it has been hosted in a cloud service provider premises. So during this course, we'll be discussing about understanding about how a security feature can be enabled or how each layer can be compromised or each layer can be um, secured, not compromised, secured. That is a discussion we are going to do it on in the throughout the session. Few people may be thinking, in my organization, if I'm implementing a firewall, my entire infrastructure is being protected. No, the reason is been like you maybe heard about a concept called DID in a IT infrastructure, something called as defense in depth. Defense in depth means that as a cloud admin or as a network expert or a security expert, it's our responsibility to implement security in each layer. It can be on a firewall or network layer, or it can be even your user level also. The other reason, when you go to office, you may be seeing like you are not able to copy the file to pen drive, or you are not able to transfer the file to a Gmail. You may be seeing like in your office, if you try to send an email to your personal email ID, next day morning you will get a explanation mail, right, saying that, hey Ahmad, you have been forwarded one PDF document with a name called XYZ into so and so email ID. Please give me the justification, right? So this is a security feature or a compliance policy, or it's been enforced in almost all the organization. So this session or this discussion, we are trying to understand about how these features can be enabled in a practical way. I'm not saying like in a PPT based one, I'll just cover a session. No, the intention here, it's been more practical oriented way discussion. We'll try to understand about this technology here. So these are the few agendas for today's session. We'll try to understand about um, how the security certification is being planned here, or in case if someone needs to move to a cloud security, what is the right path, or what are the certification we need to do it from a cloud side. That's about the intro part. About me, my name is Robin. I'm a Microsoft certified trainer. Been part of this networking for a quite long time, and we do Microsoft authorized training programs, including the corporates, and we have a customized programs, or we have a special program, practical oriented program also we are doing. I, I'm into this industry for almost 17 plus years, and we do multi-cloud training programs, especially it's include Microsoft, AWS, and Google here. Now, before moving on into the technical side or the course side, if you can just give a small intro about yourself. Few members I'm already aware, Dhyan and Karthik I'm already know. Rest of the members, if you can just give a small intro about yourself on the chat window. Your name, your experience on in a Azure side. Have you done any kind of a certification is in the past? If you can just post this message on the chat, that'd be great help. So because um, so I can able to make a examples or a case study based on your platform. So because in case if you are from a fresher, so based on that I can able to draft the training program, or I can stress the sessions during the delivery. So if you can just put your name and your experience on in a cloud platform also. I request everyone to just spend few minutes on that. If you can just thank you Jagdish for posting. So Jagdish, you're from which platform? Are you coming from a system administrator background, or are you coming from a network background? Can you just post that information as well?
Sure.
Everyone, if you can just. Request everyone member to send to everyone here. So you may be able to see on the chat box, there's a option is available for sending. I hope everyone is able to access this chat box. Thank you, Abbas. So Abbas, you are from a Windows background or a Linux background? Thank you, Abbas. You're working as a system administrator. That's great. Waiting the rest of the members also. It's been to come in. Yes, thank you. You're from a Windows background. Okay, good. Thank you, Rajesh. So, Rajesh, you're working as technical specialist on which platform? AZ900. Okay, that's been great. 6 years into experience. Okay, so thank you, yourself, Sanjeev and Rajesh for commenting. Thank you. I'm working as a network engineer and planning to take. Okay, great. So thank you, team. Now, coming on into this training facility one. So this training program of Azure Security has been planning to deliver it on every weekends. So weekends we have 11 o'clock or depend there are some situation in case of any emergency, we may have to reschedule. We may delivering the sessions on evening time also. So mostly 90% we are planning to deliver or consistently we are planning to deliver it on in a weekends on an 11 p.m. IST. That is the way the session is been planned. Now, how the course is been structured here when it is coming on in a AZ500. What are the topics we are going to cover it here? That maybe all of us may be looking how this has been different from AZ104 or how this has been different from a other certification programs here. So this basically the course has been delivered in a these are the topics we are planning to cover it here. Let me switch on into the certification side. Just give me a second. So coming on into the AZ500 session, all of us may be already aware that security is one of the key verticals all of us are looking. Basically, like this, the responsibility of a security engineer, if you take any organization, we are responsible for implementing the security controls. We are responsible for implementing various security tools. We are responsible for we are responsible for we are responsible for identity management and protection of data or applications. That is the way the security engineer's role has been planned. Now, you may be having a doubt here. If in case if anyone want to start this Azure security course, what are the prerequisites we need? Technically speaking, in case if anyone want to do this Azure security program, AZ700, AZ900 knowledge has been sufficient. But as a mentor, I always prefer you guys to do AZ700 also along with that. Anyway, for this team, we are already planning a sessions after this AZ500. So if anyone is planning to start your career in a Azure security platform, we need to go for a combination here. One, you need to ensure that you are having a self-study on AZ900, then you are finishing AZ104, then you are moving on to the AZ500, and you are finishing the sessions on in AZ700 also. So this is the path as a student um, or as a learner you need to take it here. Now coming on to the security side here. So these are the four category or there are four areas we are planning to cover it here. One, we'll be focusing more on in identity management security. You maybe heard about a service called IAM or in a on-premises scenario. Like Abbas was saying, like he was been working on in a Windows side. You maybe heard about a technology or a service in your Windows side, something called as Active Directory. So the first area or the first portion we are going to cover, it's about how to secure your identity solutions. You may be having a user creation or a group creations, or you may be seeing like Azure has been supporting almost a 200 plus services, 8,000 plus applications. You imagine if a user has been logged in with a complete admin power, if he has been start misusing this one, the complete infrastructure is going to be in a toss kind of a situation. That may lead to a lot of business outages. That may lead to a lot of facility outages, right? So for avoiding this one, what technically Microsoft Azure administrator will be doing, they will be protecting your or they will be enforcing governance policy inside your organization. They're basically known as managing identity and access management. So almost a 30 to 35 percentage of your implementation or the exam question is been going to come from the identity and access management. There's the one area we are going to focus it here. Second area we are going to cover, it's about the platform protection. Let me take you into Microsoft portal here. Let me take you into Microsoft portal. So this is the Microsoft technology link. This is the link Microsoft has been given all the details about this certifications program, how we need to plan it. So all the details you can able to get it from this portal here. You may be able to see this is the security page you can able to see. So here Microsoft has been beautifully explained who has been eligible for this program. Now on the bottom, you may be able to see Microsoft has been given the course contents also. So these are the skills or these are the areas we need to focus it here. One area, as I said, it's going to be the manage and identity management. Second area, it's going to be the networking side. Then we'll be moving on into the platform side, basically, or the hosting side, something called as a compute or a storage or a databases. Then the last option is going to be the security operations or a security operation tools also. Now, if you go inside this portal, Microsoft has been beautifully explained all these details in a module base. You may be able to see, like if you take a manage and identity management, Microsoft is saying, hey, Robin, you need to cover the 5 modules here, or the 5 modules as a learner, I need to complete it here. So we'll be discussing about the Active Directory. We'll be discussing about AD Connect. We'll be discussing about the identity protection. And you can able to see we have a discussion about identity management or governance strategy. So what I'm trying to say here is when you're going for AZ500 session, there are 4 areas we are going to be focused. One is about the hosting side or a platform side. Second one is about the identity and access management. The third one is going to be the data and application side. So these are the 4 areas we are focusing, or the discussion is going to be around this 4 areas here. Now, coming on into the other side, you may be able to see the device plan here. Anyway, it's not going to be a device here. We'll be going in hourly based here. These are the general topic Microsoft has been suggesting. Like these are the modules we need to complete it here. So you may be able to see this session is been going to be started with the Active Directory. Then we'll be moving on into the identity protection. Then we'll be moving on into the perimeter security, network security. We'll be having a discussion about app security or key vault. And finally, we'll be ending the session with a Sentinel or a SIM tool also. So these are the topics in the another 30 hours we'll be discussing here. So we'll be starting with the introduction about how cloud is being implemented here. Then we'll be moving on into the hosting platform and the monitoring side. Finally, we'll be discussing about the tools or third-party tools available in the market, how this can be integrated with the Microsoft products here. You maybe heard about a Sentinel or other are many security monitoring or a threat intelligence tools are available in the market or in your organization or in your account, how this can be implemented with a Azure also. So these are the top view of this course schedule. Let me pause it here in case if you have any questions from anyone. Any questions from anyone? If you're good, can you just comment it on in the chat? If you're good, can you just comment it on the chat?
Session is recordable. So if I miss a session, is there an option to study once again?
Yep.
Go through the session
So
once again?
yeah, one is this coming on into the facility side. Once the session has been started, we are planning to have a WhatsApp group will be created, and you will be getting on into the networking sub portal also. Whatever sessions we are delivering here, You will be getting a recorded links and all the study material also. Let me send you a few samples of that. I hope. Um, Let me share. Is there any possibility to share my? So right now in the chat, we don't have any uh, option to share the documents here. But answering to your question, yes, session is we have a recordable links are available.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions from anyone? Thank you, Dan, Abbas, and others. Now that's about the course contents here. Now coming on into the outcome of this training here. Once you completed this one, you will be able to confidently go and write a certification called AZ500. Right now, the exam numbers you can able to see it on in a Microsoft portal. It's called AZ500. Previously, or the few months before, this course name was it's on the portal or Microsoft was been use the course number was it's about 300 and 104 103. Now Microsoft has been saying 300 and 103 is not valid one. We need to go and write the exam is a 500. So whatever contents which Microsoft was been included or it was been available on the 300 and 103, they have been migrated to 500 and they have been added few latest services also. So what I'm trying to say here is 300 and 103 is not a valid certification now from the last year onwards. So the valid certification or the exam you need to write it on in a Azure Security it's AZ500. Now we'll be starting from a fundamentals part first. Then practically I'll be delivering the sessions here. So let me share how labs has been planned here. Let me connect to the Microsoft portal. So whenever we have any sessions, it's on Microsoft or uh, NSG or a firewall. Let me share the screen. Let me connect the portal. Okay, just give me a second. I'm just entering my personal details on while connecting. So I'm just explaining you how labs has been planned here. I'm just entering my personal details. Waiting for the code. 2724. I hope you can able to see the screen here. I just shared my secondary screen. So, so all these modules we are planning to deliver in a practical way here. Right now on the screen, you may be able to see Microsoft Azure portal link. You may be already aware that Microsoft Cloud Portal can be managed in a different ways here. You may be heard about like a Azure PowerShell or a CLI or a Bash. So there are different management tools are available here. One of the easiest tool or one of the easiest management tool all of us can use in a cloud. It's about portal.azure.com. It's basically a GUI based tool here. Right now on the screen, you may be able to see like you have a graphical user interface screen or a graphical portal link you can able to see here. So the moment when you start delivering a session, so especially on any network security component here, first we'll have a presentation based discussions with a whiteboard and scenario based discussions. Once it has been done, I'll be explaining you all this exercise in a practical way here. For example, like if I want to implement a network security group, so we'll have a discussion about how network security group has been working. We'll be discussing about the concept of that. We'll be discussing about practically or in a real time how this has been delivered or it's been configured. Then we'll be moving on into the lab session here. I'll be discussing about how to implement in a practical way here. Like I'll be explaining a step-by-step procedure, saying that we need to go to this portal. Then we'll be discussing about how to create this. Right now on the screen, you may be able to see already we have a few NSGs been created here. So I'll be discussing like in case if anyone want to create a network security group, we need to connect to the portal. Then we'll have a discussion about whatever option has been available here. Then we'll be implementing this one. So in a nutshell, this session is going to be practical oriented way of training delivery here. Once it's been done, I'll be planning to give a lecture note or a PDF document also. Whatever presentations we have been using for the training delivery, that presentation will be shared in a PDF format. Second one, I'll ensure that you'll be getting some case studies and you'll be getting some lab questions also. So all the documents or the deck, everything will be provided in either by the email or in a WhatsApp group. It will share to you. Possible like end of this uh, training program, we are planning to have a real-time discussion also. A few people already attended a 700 session, so I'm planning to have a merge session on how to attend interview, basically like what are the type of the questions in a real time you can expect, or I'll be sharing the real-time experience when it is coming on in a security side or a 700. What are the real-time challenges currently all of us needs to, we are going to face it in a ground level, because whatever right now we are discussing, these all are theories or a demo based one, right? But practically or in a real time scenario, the life is going to be little different here. So we'll have a discussion about how this has been planned on in a, or how uh, what is the expectation on in a organization on in the security side. So we'll have a discussion about um, security side also. So these are the 5 areas we are planning: fundamentals, practical knowledge, interviews, and we'll try to give you some input on the the career guidance also. And the certification side, I'll try to give you some sample questions which normally you can expect for this exam also. The people already completed the AZ700, I'll be giving you the questions, and the people who's already joined here, so just for your information, end of the training program, I'll help you to get some sample questions which you can normally we can expect for uh, during this AZ500 or a 700 exam courses. So this is the way, or this is the outcome of this training here. Now, this is the scope of the training program. I given like the category based one, right? So these are the 10 areas we are focusing. We'll be focusing on the Azure security. We'll be focusing more on the Azure Active Directory side. We'll have a discussion about the policies. We'll have a discussion about network security or storage or application security. So these are the area we are focusing. Now you can able to see how the security is been configured in a real-time scenario. So what are the topics is been coming on in each category here? You can able to see on in a cloud security side here. It's been starting with the Azure security side here. So you may be able to see on in a um, identity and access management. So the first module we are going to discuss. It's about identity and access management. So we'll be discussing about role-based access control. We'll have a discussion about B2B and B2C models. We'll be discussing about how to integrate this with the on-premises scenario. We'll have a discussion about how a identity or a object or a resource can be protected in a real-time scenario here. Then we'll be moving on into the governance side. On the governance side, there are 4 important topics we'll be discussing: how to configure the security policies here. We'll have a discussion about how Azure policies or locks can be implemented. Then we'll be moving on into the network security side. It's a DDoS protection, firewall, or NSG, or a WAF implementation. And we'll have a discussion about storage firewall. We'll have a discussion about different storage technology or different key encryptions are available on the storage side. And we'll be moving on into the data side and application security side also, like SSL, or what are the TLS certificates are available, or what are the TLS values are available, or how handshaking has been happening, or how we can able to troubleshoot all these kind of issues on in a real-time scenario. So these are the building blocks, or these are the top view of this training courses here. So it's include from platform, hosting, networking, even the data center facility side also. Now coming on into the exam side, when it is coming on in AZ500 side, it's a 700 is the passing mark for the AZ500 exam. Similar like all other exams, similar like your AZ900 or a 104 program. For AZ500 also, only one paper you need to write it, and the passing percentage is going to be the 700 mark, and there is no negative mark. And all the questions you can expect, either it's a case study based questions, or you can able to see it's like more it's been on in a MCQ type of questions, basically objective type of the questions you can expect. So that's about the course part. And coming on into the handout part, normally Microsoft is not giving any handout nowadays. Almost it's been almost 2 years now. Microsoft is not giving any hard copy or a soft copy of the handout. We can able to go for the online based one. So Microsoft is already having a online handout materials are available here. You can able to go to the Microsoft portal. You have a 500 material you can able to see. This is the handout Microsoft has been providing. So you have a handout details has been already available on the portal here. So our approach is going to be more on it the presentation based. We'll have a demo based and we'll have a assessment also. So we are planning to have a some assessment category also is planning to include in this session here. So we'll ensure that whatever sessions we are covering end of the training or the next day, I'll try to upload it a questionnaire also in the group or WhatsApp group. So that's for the self evaluation, not for the trainer evaluation. This basically for the students evaluation. You can evaluate yourself how confident you are on the topic. So for that, I'm planning to make a 3 assessment. One is a pre-training assessment. We'll have a post-training assessment and have an in-training assessment also. So this is the way the session has been planned here. Now there is some effort is needed from your side as well. The reason is been like cloud is going to be an ocean here. So day by day, the services are changing. You may be seeing like yesterday's article also from Microsoft, right? Day before yesterday, Microsoft has been changed Active Directory. I'm not sure how many of them have been read this article. Microsoft is being renamed Microsoft Active Directory into a new name, something called as Endra. So that's maybe the new name. We need to use it on in a cloud. You may be working on an LDAP. You may be heard about Active Directory. Now in Azure side, Active Directory has got renamed day before yesterday. So that is the way the system or that is the way the cloud technology has been working. So day by day, technology has been changing. Day by day, the service name has been changing. Microsoft or all or cloud service providers are adding a lot of new features. So we need to keep on updating ourselves. So there is some effort is needed from your side also. So whatever topics we are covering here, please ensure that you are making a note of this. Either you can record a session you'll be getting, but additional to that, if you can note down all these things on in a notepad or a wetpad, or even your OneNote also it's been put. So make sure that you are taking one note. So whatever discussions we are doing, please make a note. Whatever links if you've been providing, please copy or a bookmark it. So this all it's been needed on in a real time scenario here. So that's the way the session has been planned. Don't worry about this exam basics or exam questions. Normally you'll be getting 40 to 60 questions for this exam, and it's most going to be an MCQ type or a scenario based questions also. Now there is no negative mark here. Now let me pose it here on into the for taking a questions from everyone here. If you have any questions, please ask. If you're good, we can move to the next topic. If you're good, requesting you to post it on the chat. So thank you. So let's move to the technical side of this training program. Now, this whatever introduction right now we have been given, it's about how the course has been Microsoft has been drafted, or how Microsoft has been focusing on in the security side here. So let's start with the first part that basically known as identity management. You maybe heard about IAM, right? So you maybe heard about Active Directory, or you maybe heard about a topic called LDAP, or you may be already using a group policies or a Active Directory in a real-time scenario. So let's start with the identity management here. So let me ask you one question to everyone here. So what's your understanding about Active Directory? Can you comment it on in the chat? What is your understanding about Active Directory? So if someone is saying like we need to have an Active Directory in your organization, or we used to say Active Directory is the backbone of your any IT infrastructure. So what is your understanding about Active Directory? Now, let me share my screen here. Now, for attending this today's sessions, you may be opened your laptop, you may be given the username and password, right? That is the first step all of us has been done in a real time, right? Today morning, you got a link, there is a session has been happening, and what you have done, you have been taken your laptop and you are given a username and password, right? So when it is coming on in a real time scenario, you may be heard about a two important topics on in a cloud or in a on premises. The first term you may be heard something called as authentication, and the second term you may be heard something called as authorization. Even in your on premises scenario, if anyone want to use your file server, or if anyone want to even your laptop you want to log in, the first method it's been we all of us are doing on in a real time scenario something called as authentication. Authentication means it's been validating your credentials, even your Gmail, right? In case if you want to open your Facebook or Instagram, in case if you want to open that application or the platform, the first step we are doing something called as authentication. It's been basically it's been validating the username and password. That's basically known as authentication. Now, when it is coming on in a cloud also, we have learned a couple of points. The first point we have learned cloud service provider is been responsible for managing the infrastructure, because in an on-premises scenario, the entire asset or a physical devices or services, everything was been hosted inside your on-premises. Everything was been hosted inside your on-premises. Now, when it is coming on in a cloud scenario, your on-premises infrastructure is got on-premises infrastructure is got migrated, or it's been moved to the cloud service provider facility. So technically, we are not responsible for managing the asset, and the complete hardware or a physical part is been handled by the cloud service provider. You may be already aware that who is the cloud service provider, right? It's similar like your internet service provider. Even for your cloud also, you can able to see there are many vendors are available in the market. Like you have a Microsoft has been available, you have Amazon has been available, you have a Google has been available, you have Alibaba has been available, you have a HP or IBM. There are many vendors or players are available in the market. So what I'm trying to say here is when it is coming on in on premises, the moment when you give your username and password, someone inside your data center or infrastructure is been validating your username and password, right? So that basically that process or that validation is been known as a authentication, right? It's basically known as authentication. Now, who is authenticating on in a on-premises scenario? Can you comment it on in the chat? Now, if the moment if I'm giving my name is Robin and password is XYZ, or if I'm giving my name is Ahmad Al Yusuf or Dhyan, Who has been validating this is on premises? That service normally we are using on premises something called as Active Directory or LDAP. So AD or a LDAP, lightweight directory access protocol, or it is a Windows scenario, we used to say this is called Active Directory. So Active Directory or LDAP, they are responsible for managing, or they are responsible for validating this username and password. Now, when it is coming on in a Azure side also, we already understood there are different management tools are available in a cloud, which will allow you to connect to the cloud service data centers. You may be sitting in a Chandigarh or a UK or a Ahmedabad. Technically, your resource is actually hosted in a cloud service provider data center. This can be in a US, or this can be in a uh, Pune, or this can be in a South India, or this can be Central India, or it can be in a Canada, or it can be North Europe. Now, you are sitting in your office or your home using an internet. You have a internet has been available. Using an internet, you are connecting to Microsoft data center or Amazon data center, and you are managing this one. So technically the platform or the connectivity which you are going to use inside your cloud, it's either through the internet, or few organization may be having a concept has been available, something called as VPN. It's called virtual private network. Maybe already used, or maybe in you may be remembering like in your uh, Corona time, right? So a few years before we had last year we had a Corona. All of us were working from a home. We used to connect using a VPN client, and we used to connect it to office, right? So you may be using either it's been either internet or a VPN based network or a platform. With the help of that, you will be connecting to the Microsoft data center. So with the help of this, you may be connecting to the data center here. Now, coming on into the connectivity side, you are sitting in Chandigarh, or you're sitting in Delhi, but the infrastructure has been hosted in a East US or a North Europe, other country. So how the connectivity has been made? It's been made either with the help of internet or a VPN one. Now, you may be remembering, if you're using a Netflix or a Amazon Prime Video, how this has been accessed, or even your Instagram. In case if you want to open your Instagram, how normally this has been accessed. You may be created an account. Once the account has been created, there is a username and password is given, right? In case if you're not a hacker, then you may be how to provide this username and password, right? Otherwise, you will not be in a position to enter into this the products, right? You have to provide the username and the password, right? So without a username and password, your validation is been not happening that, right? Even MFA also, that is an additional layer of security. So in case if I want to access these products or a platform, all of us are already aware that there is a username and password has to be provided. In case if the username and password is been not provided, we will not be in a position to enter into that. Agreed? Without username and password, you are not in a position to enter into the cloud platform here, or you're not able to enter into the Netflix or a Amazon Prime Video or Instagram or a Facebook or WhatsApp. You'll not be able to enter into that. So the credential or this validation has been mandatory. This now, who is doing this validation? Now you maybe notice the moment when you start connected to Microsoft portal, management tool can be any platform. Once you enter this, you may be able to see inside all services there are 100 services are available here, right? Or a 200 plus products are available for Microsoft here. You can able to see this is on a compute category, or a container category, or a database category, or a DevOps category, or a general or identity management or integration. There are many products are available. For example, like if you take a networking category, you may be able to see there are 35 plus products. It's been supported by the Microsoft. Now 35 plus product has been supported on in a Microsoft here, which include Bastion, which include a DNS or a NAT gateway or a public IP address or express route. There are a number of products has been supported here. Now you think a scenario in an organization we have 100 users or 100 employees or 200 employees are available. If everyone has got a similar kind of access, now Ahmad or a Dhyan or a Karthik or Agni or a Gaurav, everyone has got a similar kind of access or a permission. What will happen to your infrastructure? Even you take your on-premises scenario, you may be seeing like you have a domain admins or active directory admin or you have enterprise admins, right? You think like everyone in your organization has been enterprise admin. What will happen to your infrastructure? Can you just comment it on your chat? In case if all of us are admins of your organization, technically or normally the organization will be leading or it's been headed to an outages, right? So we'll have outages will be that. So we'll not in a position to um, you may be remember or you may be read in an article. There is a I remember like almost in a 2 months back there was an article came in internet. You maybe heard about a transport organization called Uber, right? Uber is the one transport you are using. Yes, agreed. Yeah. So you maybe heard about a Uber. You know what happened in Uber? One of the employees actually opened some links or email. He got his credential, whatever he's been used for a Gmail. He got an admin access, and this account is got compromised. He was the one of the admins in that organization. You know what happened? The hackers has been start posting unwanted things on in the platform, and the entire securities got compromised here. How this would have prevented? What is your opinion? In case if Uber has been given an admin permission to a user and it's been the entire network is got compromised. So what is your viewpoint here? How this would have prevented? Can you just comment it on in the chat? MFA needs to be enabled. Okay, great. Any other option? Uh, it's the reason like what is the reason behind that compromise? The reason behind that it's basically we are not enforce any kind of a governance policies here, right? So we are not enabled any kind of a restrictions here. We are not enabled any kind of a restrictions here. Everyone is got a similar kind of a permissions, and there is no mechanism available there to validate the access part. That's the reason it's got compromise here. So what I'm trying to say here is when it is coming on in a real time scenario, there are two important process needs to be enabled. One, it's known as authentication, and second one is basically known as authorization. What I'm trying to say here is in a real time scenario, there is a first service we are going to be enabled on in a uh, Microsoft cloud scenario that's called authentication, and another one is basically known as authorization. So the security session we are planning to start with authentication and authorization because that's going to be the first layer. So because the moment when you start connecting to Azure portal, you may be like it's asking for a username and password, right? Whether it's Abbas has been connected or Robin has been connected or Karthik has been connected, the first message which you are going to get it on in a real-time scenario, it's going to be the authentication and authorization. So the first topic we are going to cover inside a security side, it's called authentication and authorization. All of us are already heard about this term. All of us are maybe already used this also in an on-premises scenario. But this session or this course, it's been focusing more on into the cloud side, how authentication can be provided, or what is the tool we are going to use it, or what is the service needs to be enabled, which will help us for ensuring your username or a credential is got validated. Coming on into the authentication side. So if you are hearing a term called authentication, the meaning or the purpose here it's about something called as validation. It's called validating the process. Your username and password is been valid. That has been covered under a category called authentication here. So the moment if you connect into Microsoft Azure portal, it will ask you for the username and password. Uh, in case if you've been use any platform, it's not. I'm not saying like only for Azure portal.com. No. In case if you want to use any other management tool, also the first process or the first portion we need to complete is something called as authentication here. We need to provide the username and password. This point has been clear. You have a authentications. So authentication means that the moment when you start connecting to Microsoft portal, it will ask you for the username and password. So that process is basically known as authentication. So tomorrow we'll be discussing about how authentication has been different from an authorization here. So we have a first process. It's basically known as authentication. So authentication means that the username and password is been validating uh, with the help of a service inside your cloud that basically known as Active Directory. So there is a service basically we are using on in a cloud that basically known as Azure Active Directory. Even we can able to merge or you can able to use a existing Active Directory or LDAP also. You maybe already have a uh, LDAP or on-premises domain controllers are available in the market, right? So or in your organization. So you have option to integrate your on-premises AD also. So in case if you want to integrate this with your on-premises AD, you can able to do that as well. So authentication, so what I'm trying to say here is authentication is a process. The user credential is got validated. That process is basically known as authentication. Now, once your authentication has been completed, it's basically like the moment when you entered into your office, what are the resources you can able to access? And you may be working as in an IT field, or you may be working as a finance field, or you may be working as in a HR platform, or you may be working as a project coordinator. So there is a scope or there is a uh, process is being defined for your work role, right? Similar way in cloud also. Once the user is got validated, what are the resources he can able to use it here? Are we able to manage the firewall, or are we responsible for managing VMs, or can I manage storage account or a database? Everything needs to be configured with the help of a global admin. So basically, it's been known as a governance policy. The technical term we are using in a real-time scenario that's called governance. So, or the validation, once the validation has been over, next level of the validation is becoming something called as authorization. So authorization is technically a process. It's giving or it's been validating what are the resources the user can be able to use it inside a cloud. Am I supposed to use a firewall, or am I supposed to use a Active Directory, or have I got access on the database or a storage account? Everything it's been validated with the help of a concept called authorization. So we'll be discussing about a two portions. One is about authentication, and the second one it's about authorization. Any questions from anyone? Okay. Now this is a small intro session today. It's about the security side. Now let me pause it here for taking your Q&A. So any questions related to the course, or how the session is being delivered, or any input is being needed about this program, let's use next 5 minutes for that. Now, if you're good with this, let's start this training program from tomorrow onwards on the same time. So daily we'll have 11 o'clock. So, and we'll be starting from a Active Directory from tomorrow onwards. Any questions from anyone? Anything related to the cloud? It's don't need to stick into the cloud security. Any question related to the cloud infrastructure side, or a certifications, or any input is needed, let's use this forum or a platform. So we'll be starting this live session from tomorrow onwards. So tomorrow onwards, we'll be moving on into the topic. So we'll be starting with Active Directory. There's the first topic we are covering. Then we'll be moving on into the VPN. and we'll be moving on into the firewall and the network side also. If you're good, please comment that also on the chat.
So this batch is only for 500 or 700 also included?
This basically we have a few people who already completed 700. That's been already they will be joining here, and the people it's going directly on the 500. After this program, we'll be delivering a 700 for you.
This batch will be like Saturday, Sunday.
Yes, it will start from tomorrow onwards.
It is like 2 hours, 3 hours per day.
2 hours.
Okay, Saturday 2 hours, Sunday 2 hours, right?
Yes, and we are not saying that only 2 hours. In case if you have a doubt or something, we can extend also. So we the plan or the expectation is to have a 2 hour session.
Because both of are taking AZ500, 700 continuously, like how long the duration will be like it is?
30 hours, 30 to 35 hours. That's for the expectation on the 500. That is a normal course MOZ Microsoft is saying 32 hours.
It's 500, right?
500
It's
even
500.
yeah, 700 that's going to be 24 hours. If 24 hours after completing AZ900 and 104.
Like, suppose AZ500, 700, both if you taking on weekend, how long it will be like in terms of month?
50 yeah, it will take in a 45 to 50 hours because you may be
Around
seeing
4 months, Sanjeev.
the Sanjeev, the reason has been like uh, when Microsoft has been drafted this training program, they had only few programs only like Azure administrator or architects. What Microsoft also has done, it's been like they have been redrafted their alter training program. They made it as a different vertical, like a DevOps, security side, then made it as a compliance side. But the topic is if you are uh, it's it's the same topic only most of the time. That the reason like whatever topic has been coming on the 700, that's almost at 20 to 30 percentage has been having the same topic has been coming on in the 500 as well. So it's one program. Um, it's been collaboratively we can able to take it here. So we don't need to duplicate the same session on the AZ700 also because the same topic, the same concept has been coming here. So even if you're calculating separate ways, like it's a AZ500, it's a 32, and AZ700 it's going to be 24 hours. It's been coming around 50 plus hours. No, we can able to cover it in a 40 to 45 hours because 20 percentage, 30 percentage, same topic has been repeating on the other side. We'll try to complete it in a possibly 1.5 month for AZ500. And as Gaurav said, if you're going every week, 2 hours, it will take 4 months, but we'll try to complete in 2 months, at least 2.5 months. We'll try to speed up.
That is time is not there, but usually I ask how much.
Yeah, thank you. Any other questions from anyone?